2 a.m. and next we cross over to the Western Cape. We're talking with Mayoral Committee Member for Safety and Security, and that's you, JP Smith, to tell us about the situation in the Western Cape regarding the heavy downpours, the cold weather, and the flooding. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am.
How serious is the situation? You know, when I hear about the flooding situation, people being stranded, people probably even being homeless, I should imagine, more so in informal settlements. What comes to mind is the situation in KZN. I'm hoping that the situation in the Western Cape is not on the same scale. Is it manageable? Is disaster management able to cope with relief efforts?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. It's fortunately nothing like the scale of what happened in KZN. We had some of the heaviest recorded rainfalls in many years, and several of the points where the rainfall was measured set records for the volume of the downpour. So we had insane levels of rain, some of the heaviest rain I can recall seeing in my life. So if anybody still doubts climate change, we got a very good demonstration thereof in the last 2 days. And that just exceeded the ability of the stormwater drains and the ground absorb the tempo of rainfall. That will drain and abate over the next 12 hours. The rain has ceased now. The skies are largely blue. So within the next 12 hours or so, most of that rain will start draining away. And where we had storm water blockages, those blockages are being cleared. So we should be free of blockages by midday today. The teams were working throughout the last couple of days. Those are mainly due to dumping and littering, clogging up those systems in between the large catchment clearances that the city's roads department do. Most of the affected areas that had where people were affected in their residential capacity was an informal settlement, mostly in areas where people settled without the consent of the city illegally on areas that are not suitable for habitation, including wetlands, low-lying areas, retention ponds, so areas that predictably would flood. And in fact, over the last 6 months, we have repeatedly warned people who have settled there that they are exposing themselves to flood risk because there is no engineering steps you can take to prevent those areas from flooding. There's no stormwater systems you can build, and in many cases, those are in riverbeds and otherwise. So it's not possible to implement stormwater systems.
Sadly, and that's the reason why they're experiencing unplanned weather-related outages, as you've just indicated. But the good news, obviously, is that the teams are hard at work clearing up stormwater drains that are clogged with rubbish, litter, etc. But I also understand that there are certain areas that are suffering outages and possibly water shortages. Are you guys working on that? And to add on to that as well is that planned necessary maintenance on the electrical infrastructure has to go ahead as well, which is going to further impact on the current situation, is it not? Are you there, JP Smith?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not aware of any outages that lasted longer than an hour or two. That's generally where water got into electrical systems, where because of the strength of the downpour, or into substations or otherwise, that would normally not be in contact with water. So I think none of those have persisted beyond yesterday evening, and I'm not aware of any water outages.
Okay.
We didn't have situations where we had areas flooding away or being washed away. Only a little bit of rock falls on the mountains, but absolutely there are areas that were affected by knee-deep or even waist-deep water yesterday, with videos being posted of people, floating inflatable devices on it or even swimming in it. And the city was visiting, and our disaster management teams were engaging with those communities yesterday, also issuing sandbags where we could to assist with channeling water out of areas where that was possible. And myself and the mayor at 10:30 will be visiting Langa to go and check on one or two of the areas where there were problems yesterday.
Well, undoubtedly, you sound quite confident and also sound like you and your team and the city of Cape Town are on top of this situation. Do you know up to now if there's been any loss of life, or has that been averted by giving warning, warning people up front that they need to be wary of the inclement weather?
No, I'm not. I don't think we had any loss of life. Motor vehicle accidents, certainly. Unfortunately, people don't always adapt their driving as they should when the roads get that wet, and especially when some roads are flooded. So motor vehicle accidents, but I'm not aware of life. I don't think the extent of the rain's permitted for that. It wasn't flooding of the kind that one has in mind when you hear the word flooding. These generally levels of rain that cause discomfort or flooded the floors of some homes in certain areas and would cause people to have to sandbag an entrance somewhere and mop out water, but certainly not on the scale that KZN had the misfortune of experiencing.
Wonderful to hear that you, as the MMC for Safety and Security, are and your team and other members are on top of this matter, supporting the people of the city of Cape Town. Just my final question to you. Are you in touch with the people at the Weather Service Department? Is there more rain predicted for your part of the world? Because obviously, if there is more heavy rains, it means that you guys need to be on standby and need to be on alert for more flooding, perhaps.
Yes, we are expecting more rain. Luckily, we've got 2 days for the ground to clear out and dry out. It's unfortunately more rain expected on Friday and Saturday. I say unfortunately because, of course, we want the rain. We don't want to be like some of the cities who have water shortages to the point where they're about to go to a day zero scenario. So we want the rain. We just want it to fall a little bit slower. And the rain forecast for Friday and Saturday is much less. And because we haven't seen weather warnings for those rains. It's not storm fronts coming through like did the last 3 days. I think last night and the night before, I heard rain on the roof of my house like I've never heard before.
Oh. Keep safe. Thank you for your, efforts, everyone at obviously safety and security and all the different role players trying to keep people safe. So continue doing what you guys are doing, and God bless. Thank you for talking with us this morning.
It's a huge pleasure, ma'am. You too. Have a great day.
That was JP Smith, City of Cape Town Mayoral Committee member for Safety and Security, talking to us about the situation of the flooding in the Western Cape. Do stand by. In a minute or two, we'll be joined by Ernest van Zyl, AfriForum's campaign officer for strategy and content. So stay with us. Lots more coming your way this morning on News and Views.